Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God. It's time for Faith to Live By with Sue Taylor.
Thank you for joining me today on Faith to Live By. This is Sue Taylor. You know, in Hebrews it says, "For here we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come." A great world conqueror was leading his victorious army back to Italy and home. Onward they marched over rivers and plains and through wooded forests until they reached the foothills of the towering Alps. Here the thinning ranks of the worn and the tired soldiers began to falter as they trudged over the rocky defiles of the mighty mountain passes. As they climbed higher and still higher, the blinding snow and the storms well nigh discouraged the stoutest of hearts. Stopping on a high mountain or a high hill where he could overlook all of his men and be heard by them, and pointing upward across the mighty barrier, the great general shouted, "Men, beyond those Alps lies Italy. Italy, wavering fields, beautiful orchards, sparkling fountains, mothers and fathers, wives and children, sweethearts, home, ah, sweet home." Fainting hearts revived, tired muscles found new strength. Onward and upward, that brave army pressed against every obstacle, and they won. They reached home. You know, here on earth is just a passing. We're just pilgrims here. You know, heaven, what a blessed place, and what a blessed hope we have when we think of heaven. When we grow weary and tired, may God's grace give us glimpses of heaven and the longing for it. Do you ever long for heaven? Are you anxious to go home? You know, Colossians chapter 3 tells us to set our hearts on things above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. We are not only to set our hearts on heaven, but our minds as well. Colossians 3 goes on to say, "Set your minds on things above and not on earthly things." One of the key ingredients to being excited about heaven is to understand how brief life is here on earth. Not long ago, I had the privilege of talking to an elderly, godly woman, and she said, "You know, Sue, even if we live to be 100, life here on earth is still so very brief." She said, "Time has gone by so fast." Even Job in his distress realized that life is like a flying shuttle. He said in Job 7:6, "My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle." And again in chapter 9, he compares the brevity of life like a hurrying messenger. He said, "My days are swifter than a runner. They fly away without a glimpse of hope." The brevity of life is depicted as a shadow in 1 Chronicles 29. In David's prayer, he said, "We are aliens and strangers in your sight, as were all of our forefathers. Our days on earth are like a shadow without hope." The psalmist says life is only a handbreadth in extent. "You have made my days a mere handbreadth. The span of my years is as nothing before you. Each man's life is but a breath." And finally in James chapter 4, we are asked, "What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." Yes, beloved, life is brief. Life here on earth. For here on earth we have, as writer of Hebrews says, no continuing city. Earth and allows no hope for the eternal, but heaven does. And like those great soldiers marching over the Alps toward Italy, worn and weary, there is another scene here on earth. All over the world are members of Prince Emmanuel's army. Many have won decisive battle with the enemy, great victories over sin. They have struggled along life's rugged highway, and many, maybe you, who are listening to the sound of my voice today, have become worn and weary in the conflict. Long have you marched homeward bound, but now they having reached great mountains of difficulties, strifes, wars, threatened dissolution of all social and moral standards, the mighty Alps on the stream of time is sort of what we face today. To this vast army, their captain shouts, Christian soldiers, beyond these mountains of difficulty lies home, heaven, waving fields of living green, kingly forests with never-fading foliage, sparkling fountains, the tree of life and the river of life, long-lost friends, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, husbands, wives, children, and loved ones. Thank God we are, beloved, nearing our heavenly home. E.W. Patton said, I've been to the rim of the world and beyond, but I'm heading home tonight. Take courage, beloved. We are heading to our future home, heaven.
You've been listening to Faith to Live By with Sue Taylor. If you would like to write with your comments or to request a copy of this program for an $8 donation, write Sue Taylor, 10827 Highway 86 East, Neosho, Missouri, 64850. Sue Taylor is a member of the KNEO team and a keynote speaker at several church and women's events throughout the 4-state area. To book Sue for your next event, contact Sky High Radio at 417-451-5636.